welcome to the platform. I'm Michael Gazzelli. We've got a very exciting show coming up. Two Aussie sporting legends. Anthony Mundine will be joining us on the couch, and also Sam Newman, straight from the Footy Show. Both of these greats will be talking to us on the platform. Powderfinger Darren Middleton will be our musical performance. We've got the beautiful Rosanna Faraci dancing away at the St Kilda Festival, and Togsy will be filling in for Warwick Kappa this week. But let's have a look at the great man and legend, Anthony Mundine.
Like him or loathe him, Anthony Mundine is one extraordinary athlete. He has reached the pinnacle in two of world sport's toughest pursuits. In his early 20s, Anthony Mundine's speed and athleticism set Australian Rugby League alight. Brad Fittler played 5'8" against Mundine when he burst onto the scene.
As a footballer, he was ultra talented. He just could provide anything.
And it's a try! It's a try for Mundine!
His part in the team was always that nth degree. If the ball dropped, he'd be able to pick it up and do something with it straight away. And you can't train or practice against that. So he was just a dangerous, dangerous player.
He played in 3 grand finals, won premiership and state of origin. He had the game at his feet with record contracts on offer. Blessed with natural athletic brilliance, he left rugby league in his prime to chase a dream. Just 3 years and 2 months later, he became the WBA super middleweight champion of the world.
He's most probably the fastest fighter I've ever seen in my life.
Look, Anthony Mundine is one of the greatest athletes we've ever produced.
He's got more personality, more charisma, more newsworthiness in him than anyone I've ever dealt with.
I love his right hand when he shoots it down the middle.
He's become this country's most controversial and talked about athlete.
Anthony, thanks very much for coming on. I honour and respect you, mate, and lovely to meet the great man.
Pleasure, man, no problem.
What does it feel like to be one of Australia's sporting heroes to the young and the old?
I don't know, man, I was just a kid with a dream, you know what I mean? And I had a obsession of, with my dream. And I put it in the hard yards and hard work and dedication, discipline, and everything you need in order to achieve it. And,
amazing. Did you read a lot of books, or did you have a mentor?
Nah, I just knew, because I seen my dad, being the great man he was, and what he did with the sport of boxing, and how he never drank, never smoked, never took any drugs, and he always put that on me. He actually used to take me down King's Cross in the 80s, in the early 80s, when I was a youngster, 6, 7, 8 years old, and he used to show me the alcoholics and the drug addicts, and show me, we used to actually engage with them and talk to them, and they used to tell me their problems and how they ended up the way they did and whatever. And telling me never to choose this route, and just show me what if you make that choice, that's a dead end street basically. And so,
Tony Mundine was a beautiful human being. What was your relationship like with your dad?
It was pretty. Dad, I love my dad to death. I look up to him as a man. He's a great man, great father. He was always there for me. In any circumstance I need him, so yeah, I can't speak any higher of him.
Tony, I think people love you so much because you're very authentic and real, and you say it the way it is, yeah. And I'd say you're supremely confident. You don't just sort of sugarcoat things. You say it the way it is, which I respect and admire.
I just keep it real, man.
You keep it real.
I keep it 100% real.
Some people don't like real.
Of course, the truth is like a rock. This is a Malcolm X quote. The truth is like a rock. You throw it into a pack of dogs, and the one that it hits will bark the loudest. So the truth is powerful, and obviously you're going to always have, those that go against the truth, or don't see it as the truth. And you're going to have your detractors and your haters, whatever. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. I just built a platform to express my opinion. You know what I mean? So whatever I need to say, I just say it, and they can all talk about it.
You're a tough man, Tony Mundine, but I can feel the warmth in your heart, bro. I can feel there's faith going through those veins.
Oh yeah, man. I fear God, man. I fear God. Like I just come out of the jungle recently.
Yeah, how was that?
And you don't get much to eat, and you don't get much to drink. You drink water, but you don't get the things you like or whatever.
We might just have a look at the jungle and see what fun you had there, bro, and then we'll ask you about your life story. But celebrity, get me out of here.
And now to be the two of you to be voted in, what are Australia thinking?
Just want to torment me, I think.
In the camp, when we announced this trial, we mentioned the dark, we mentioned snakes, we mentioned being underground.
Danny, how are you staying so calm?
No matter staying cool, staying calm.
Now, Anthony, the praying may be helping you, but it's certainly attracting Python's interest there. The vibration's picking up on that.
Ho-ho! Well, that feels like a big one.
It is a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Just over 10 minutes to go, guys.
Oh, he's just coiled up there, Anthony. That's normally a strike position. There may be another snake that he's watching here.
What did you think when you were doing that?
Oh man, you seen the footage. All I was doing was praying and just asking God to protect me, man, because I don't know how I done that, to be honest. Just looking at it like, damn.
Did you ever think, no, I'm not going to do that?
No, because they told us before.
Yeah.
The order to stop it and get out is like, you have to say, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. And I knew Green wasn't never going to do that. And so I had to suck it up and make sure I didn't do it either. Tap out.
Anthony, how did they rope you into that, flying to the other side of the earth and being in the jungle for 11 days? And, were you excited to do it, or did you have to think about it a few times?
I thought about it. I didn't really see much of the show or the previous seasons, but I thought it'd be a good adventure. I was just after a fight, which was good timing. And, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know Danny Green was going to be in there.
Good bonding with Danny Green?
The first couple of days was real tense, a lot of tension in the camp, and it was like two guerrillas just marking their territory. And I'd already been in there for like 5 to 7 days,
right,
with his campmates. So I felt like that was my place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But it was cool after that. Like I'm a cool cat, man.
You're a cool cat, bro. Anthony, you've been termed one of Australia's finest athletes, and what you've done, I don't think we've ever seen in Australia's history. Rugby league for how many years?
It was 5 years, but technically 6 because I played one game I sat in the final series in '93 and played the last game in '93.
I used to love watching you, and I think you played in 3 grand finals.
Yeah, 3 grand finals. Two with both comps, under the ARL banner, but one with the Super League comp, which they split the comps 1 year '97. We won the Super League comp with the Brisbane Broncos. I think we would have beat any team that year. Obviously we had a superstar team. A
lot of training in those days?
Definitely. I mean, you can't get anywhere without hard work. No. You know what I mean? That's all it is, man. It's like hard work, dedication. Like, hard work always beats talent. But if you got the talent and the hard work, then you're just a different animal. You're just going to be a different beast.
And what inspired you, Tony, to then get into boxing? Were you already boxing?
No, I was a rugby league player. Since I was 4 years old, I played league. I mean, that was like our AFL up there, up in New South Wales and Queensland. That's like our AFL. It's like the biggest sport. And my dad actually come to Sydney to play footy, but then he got pulled into boxing, then just loved it. So I was playing footy all the way up, But then by the time I was 7, 8, maybe 9, 10, I knew I had because of the bloodlines of fighting. I knew that I could, I used to throw a muck around. I knew I had talent in the, with my hands.
Love it. And what are the plans for the grade man over the next 12 months?
Well, man, I've had a bad hip for years, for 10 years, and I got that fixed a couple of years ago. I feel too good. I'm just going to go till someone beats me. But I want that Jeff Horn. I want to show him what's up and show the people that if he beats me, I'm done. But there's no chance.
Anthony Mundine, thank you very much. I honour and respect you, and we'll see you soon. And thank you very much for watching. We've got Warwick's World coming up next, but Warwick's interstate, so we've got Togsy filling in. See you soon. Welcome back to the platform. I'm Michael Kazilny, and thank you very much for all those wonderful emails from all around the globe. Thank you very much. Love and best wishes to all. We've got the great man Togsy on the couch, filling in for Warwick. Where's Warwick gone?
Filling in on the big seat. Warwick is on the Gold Coast, sunning himself,
Again?
I believe. He played golf today. He's been pestering me with all these videos of him playing golf because he can't play at all. But yeah, he's been having a good time up there. In fact, he actually sent us a message, and I think we should probably look at it.
Warwick Kepper coming in from the Gold Coast. Commonwealth Ambassador Warwick Kepper is here, and the Platform King and the Platform Guru. The shame's actually revolved around me yesterday. Been going 6 weeks. Let's hope it goes 72. Togsy, get out of my chair, mate. I had enough of that. Get out of the King's chair. You've heard of King Wally? No, you haven't. You've heard of King Warwick Kepper, though. He goes to the opening of an envelope. Look like Rosie Posey. We love it. Sorry I missed the big release party, but never mind. I haven't made you one in about 3 months. We'll do it again. We'll name it after me. This is Warwick Kepper for Warwick's World and the Platform. Coming to you live to the beautiful Gold Coast Ambassador and Commonwealth Games King, Warwick Kepper. You rip.
Togsy, it looks like he's had some cheap wine in a 3-day growth. I've never seen Kepper with the Tony Montana sort of 3-day growth.
Yeah, he's having a lot of fun around the pool, I think, in typical Warwick fashion.
He has a lot of holidays, doesn't he?
He has a good life.
And what have you been up to?
Mate, just, well, it's been busy actually, obviously putting together the show each week is keeping me busy, and the stuff that I do or did in the past is very different to Warwick's. If we're going to play a clip of Warwick right now, you'd probably be urinating in someone's garden or something or getting Botox, but the stuff that I used to do around the world with my web show is very different, so I thought we'd play some of that tonight.
Yeah, well, let's have a look.
Well, one of the great things about travelling around the world by yourself with just a home video camera and a tripod is you never know who you'll meet, from the streets to cafes. Everyone's got a great story to tell, especially someone like Kamal, someone who sold over 10 million records, had a #1 hit around the world.
Listen, please listen, said the elephant. If we want the world we know to stay alive, then man and beast, we must work together, and together we will survive. Listen, said the elephant, it is conservation time.
Yeah, such a unique voice, which we saw in the great ads for Dilmah.
Come home to me,
So it was great to sit with Kamal and ask him about his dreams. Did you hire one of the big halls in England on your own and do your own tour or something like that? Because that sounds like a pretty big dream.
Well, that was in London.
Tell me about that.
In 1975. Because I wanted the agents in London to take notice of me. They wouldn't. Yeah. So I said, if you don't do it, I'll do it myself. Because, you know, Roger Moore, the ex-James Bond guy, his wife, Dorothy Squires, when her career was taking a dip, she went and hired the Palladium, did her own show. I said, a woman can do it, surely a man can do it.
It's not a small venue though, is it? That's a really popular big venue.
2,000 people. And I had the Palladium and promoted it. And the story of it got to Europe. Within 5 weeks, I was flown to Europe to record a song called The Elephant Song, the #1 song in Europe for 6 weeks. Yeah, that's a dream.
That's a big dream.
Yeah, I didn't even dream about that.
It just happened.
No, it just happened.
Right.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen if you sit on your backside. You got to get off your backside and promote.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Like, do you have advice for young people out there? And forgetting it's music or anything in life, what would you say to young people about getting out there and chasing dreams?
I think you got to have a fire in your belly. You know, if you really believe something, and if your mind and your heart says you can, you can. But if your mind says you can, your heart says it can't, problem. You got to coordinate your mind-heart coordination together. Then you have a cutting edge, and you can cut through anything.
Another inspiring story is that of Roy Jones Jr., one of the greatest boxers to ever lace up the gloves. Only 2 men in history have won the middleweight title, then go on to win the heavyweight title. He was the best of his era, and here's an example of that.
Neighborhood, bumping, blowing on some good. I keep a Glock and got a big Glock underneath my hood. I'm from Atlanta, old school, like some great founder. Right up the street from Florida, Tennessee, and Alabama. I keep it working,
Yeah, he was just such a hero of mine, and I couldn't believe it. I was waiting for a flight to go to New York, and well, this is what happened. All right, so sitting here at LAX, having a bad night because my flight's been delayed, but then one of my all-time heroes walks by, and that is the man I've always wanted to interview actually in boxing, which is Roy Jones Jr. Roy, how you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Where are you flying to?
I'm flying back home to Pensacola, Florida.
Okay, so now I ask a lot of people, man, about their dreams and stuff. Do you feel like you've lived your dream, or if not, what's the grand plan dream for you?
No, I live my dream.
Yeah?
Over and over again. I mean, I never dreamed of becoming heavyweight champion, and one night I did have a dream as a professional fighter to become heavyweight champion. I did it, so what else could I do?
Was it like when you had that fight with John Ruiz, which I watched in Australia, man, that was just unbelievable. Like, was that just something, like what age did that start for you? When you thought, I mean, there's a great scene in the movie Raging Bull where they're talking, Jake LaMotta saying, man, Joe Louis is a heavyweight, you're a middleweight, it's impossible. You proved that possible. Like,
I definitely proved that possible, and what happened was about 1995 or 96, I just felt like, you know what, if you this good, fight for the heavyweight title. And I started trying to get Holyfield to fight me, but he wouldn't fight me, so I waited till I finally got my opportunity, and I took it.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so was boxing something that you're always going to get into? I know your father trained you as a youngster and stuff.
Boxing was always my dead love off the top. I just knew I could do it.
And you've been in the Matrix?
Yeah, I was in the Matrix too. I actually shot down in Australia, yep.
Do you think that, like, within, particularly what you've proved, that really anything's possible, right?
Anything is possible. You should never let nobody give you boundaries. Only God should give you boundaries.
Right. Like, if you're talking to young kids out there, and regardless if it's boxing or if it's just life in general, do you just agree that it's just hard work that's got you to where you are? I mean, obviously, you're very talented, but you work hard as well, don't you?
Yeah, but off the top, you got to have first faith in God, then faith in yourself. And if God bless you with the talent, then you got to take and work 5 times harder to get where you want to get, because there are going to be some low spots, there are going to be bad spots for you waiting already, but you got to keep working hard to persevere and overcome when you get in those low spots. And with hard work, anything is possible.
Nice, man. Well, I got to say that to sit here in an airport and have a bad night and then to have one of your heroes walk by is kind of nice. So it's great to meet you, one of the greatest of all time, and thank you, man.
Thank you, and I enjoy it, and thank y'all, Australia, for always supporting me. Peace.
Rock on.
Togsy, you've done some amazing interviews around the world, and that beanie, you've had that for a long time.
That beanie, I wonder what happened to it, because it was a real cheap one, and I took it around the world, and somewhere along the way it got lost, but yeah, I missed that beanie.
The best things in life are the simple things.
That's right.
And Kappa's on next week again?
Mate, he's back in his chair, he can have it back, no pressure on him.
Thanks very much for being on the couch, and
Thanks,
what a great job. And our next special guest, well, maybe our new Lord Mayor of Melbourne. The great man Sam Newman will be joining us very shortly. Welcome back to the platform. I've got the great man Sam Newman on the couch. This man needs no introduction. He's been inducted into the Hall of Fame, 18 years with the Geelong, and just a really top man. Let's have a look what he's been up to in his life.
He makes the papers as often as the biggest names in the game, and he's been retired for more than 30 years. He's the somewhat reluctant star of the long-running footy show, with a unique capacity to say and do things on and off screen that land him in hot water.
But if this was about the AFL putting yes on the football, was about climate change or global warming or obesity or save the whale or greenhouse emissions or carbon footprint or whatever. I would have exactly the same opinion. The very fact that it's about the yes vote for gay marriage is irrelevant. So please don't say, don't hijack this into something it's not. But who in the hell are these people at the AFL who are telling the football public what they should do in their lives and who they should vote for in any political agenda? Who are you? Who gives you the right to tell people and to put on the football what people should do? For God's sake, there's a plebiscite going on in the country at the minute, the yes or no vote. What right have you got to say what people should be doing? The 3 or 4 million AFL fans, you are saying you should vote one way or the other. Yes, you're saying you should vote for. Who are you? What gives you the right? You are nothing more than obsequious, fawning, sycophantic political whores. You have no right to get involved in political messages. Let people go to the football and do what they want to do. Just watch the game.
You're in the Hall of Fame and you're in Geelong's Team of the Century, and having seen you play, you deserve both those accolades.
Well, that's mighty neighbourly of you, Mick.
Yeah. Is there someone of the modern era that you believe plays the game?
I'm not about to tell you how I played football or how good I was or I wasn't. I'm not about to tell you who I would be like. That is in the eye of the beholder. That is so subjective. Me telling you about what sort of footballer I was. I played for 18 years with Geelong. I missed 5 years in football terms through injury. That is, I missed 100 games through injury. Kevin Bartlett and I played for 18 years, him for Richmond, me for Geelong, and he played 100 games more than me. He played 403 games, I played 303.
Thank you very much for coming on the platform, and you are a very top player. It's been more than 30 years now, and you're still a football legend.
Well, I don't know about that. As I said to Mike Sheehan, that's for other people to work out. I would never tell you who I think I am. Embarrassing watching yourself, isn't it, that business about the yes vote?
Well, that's what people love you so much.
No, I got slagged because they said I was homophobic. See, that's how things get hijacked. If you have an opinion that is adverse against minority groups that have an agenda, you get automatically pigeonholed. It's a really lazy way of abusing you.
Only by the small-minded thinking, though, Sam. I think most Aussies love you because you have got a strong opinion, and that's why I think you will make a very good Lord Mayor. Now, what's the story with that? The Lord Mayor of Melbourne position is vacant.
I was asked a couple of years ago, would I be interested in it? I said I wouldn't be. And I was asked a couple of weeks ago, and I said, would I be interested in it again? And I said, maybe. And that you only have to say that, and that gets people's interest. I would be interested in, philosophically, the position of Lord Mayor, because I'm a Melbourne CBD resident. It's a great city. We like to think it's one of the most livable cities in the world, but it can do with a bit of tweaking and a bit of improvement. And whether I became the Lord Mayor, hypothetically, or anyone else, it's good to be in the mix so that the people who do elect a Lord Mayor have plenty of diverse range of people to choose from.
Amazing. I think you'd make a great Lord Mayor. What changes would you implement, do you think? What are the problems of Melbourne? I mean, it's the most livable city.
Before we get over the top of our skis,
of course,
before we get too presumptuous, most of the things that you would be interested in, or I would be interested in vetting or putting into place, would have to be in conjunction with the state government, of course, and the police, because it's an issue of security and safety in the city. The homeless, beggars, graffiti, rubbish, and a general well-being of people who not only live in the city or commute to it to work, or more importantly, the people who come from overseas like to think that this city that is touted all around the world for its whole lot of its sporting prowess and achievements, they like to see it for what we say it should be and is. But having said that, the foremost and most important thing about it is don't worry about the people who work in the city or commute to it or the people who visit it. Think of those unfortunate people who have to live on the streets and in the parks and in the doorways of shops. This is not just going and getting and wrapping them up and taking them somewhere else. This is trying to do something with their lives to improve their well-being and their physical presence on this planet. But having said that, if we what you'll find is that people always like to exploit the situation. You'll get people hijack on the back of the genuine homeless and think they'll get a free meal and free accommodation and free benefits and free entitlements and free food stamps and all that sort of stuff. So there'd be a fair weeding out process, and that I think is well overdue, although the people who former Lord Mayors have been fantastic and always have the city at heart, in their heart, so I would be the same.
A lot of Melbourneians don't quite understand what happened in the Lord Mayor's office. What's the elevator pitch? What happened there? Why is it all so disrupted? Why was the footy show so disrupted? What's happening there with all these, complaints from people? How would you sum it up, Sam? Has the world changed?
Are we talking about the Me Too?
All that sort of stuff.
The Me Too.
What's your view on that?
Well, I tell you what I'd do. If I stood for the Lord Mayor, I'd have a moratorium of a month before I even took office. I'd say, if you have any complaints about me sexually, about unsolicited sex or unsolicited advancement, or please come forward now and we can deal with it, because I'd be very confident that I've done a lot of ordinary things in my life, but none of them have been non-consensual. So if anyone has any claim against me for non-consensual advancement or sexual harassment, come forward now and we can either knock it on the head or I can drop out before I start.
It's funny how they all come out.
But if you come after the month's up, if you come after in a month or 2 months or a year after, don't bother coming then, because you'll be lying. You'll be fibbing. I'd be very confident no one would come forward. But you never know.
Sam, I always enjoyed watching you play. 18 years with Geelong. What were the highlights and what were the worst moments of being a professional player for so long?
Well, the highlights, of course, are that actually is a very good question, because the highlights are the competitive aspect of playing football on a weekly basis during the winter here in Melbourne. But the game has changed now. I'm not saying it's changed for the worse, but it's certainly changed because the gladiatorial aspect of football has almost made way for a theatrical performance of aerobics, the way it used to be played and the way it's played today. Don't get me wrong, it's a very tough game, but people now go for the ball with immunity, knowing that no one will hit them hard, no one will be untoward towards them, and therefore the fear factor of playing football has disappeared. Fear is what gets your attention in life and makes you very anxious about your performance. That has almost disappeared from our game. Might be a good thing in this changing world that political correctness has dogged us almost out of existence, but we are towing some imaginary line that the people who run our game and our world and our society want us to tow, much to the chagrin of most of the people who live in it.
Mr. Newman, how did it feel to be inducted to the Hall of Fame? I think it was 2002, wasn't it?
It was a while ago. Well, that's a great honour. It's a great honour. You don't play football for the honours or for the trophies or whatever, but that's some sort of recognition by your peers. But there's plenty of people in the Hall of Fame, so it's not really unique to be there. But I feel honoured to be part of it.
You're very humble. Let's have a look at your humbleness on the streets.
There you go. It's Ian Newman. Your real name's Ian Newman. Here you are, that one.
How are you, madam? What a lovely joke. Oh, gee. She's just driven into the actual stop sign.
Did you give the season a rating? You haven't been on the booze, have you?
Very funny.
What's flog? I don't know what that means.
Gator
That is a flog. Can't tolerate idiots or...
Grandson of James for you. He's a Ninja Turtle.
That's a boy?
Yep.
Is it? He says the F word 800.
Yeah. No, Sam. I don't
like it. Dog.
I don't like that.
So you like clean television, do you?
Clean him out, too.
You see what that girl did then? Did you?
Yeah.
She grabbed me on the lunch.
I'm sorry for you.
No, I quite enjoyed it.
Sam, your life's been a series of spectacular success. You know, footy star and then you leave. That's more than 30 years ago. And now you're having all this fun on the footy show. What's it like to be every week to get up there and you're on national TV being judged to entertain and to make people laugh?
Being judged and critiqued to within an inch of our lives. I think I've been called, someone sent this in, I don't know if they're a fan or the opposite, but they said I've been called 84 derogatory and abusive things over the 24 years I've been on television. They usually start off with racist, homophobic, sexist, and then they go to bigoted and white supremacist. And someone called me a nihilist the other day, and I had no idea what a nihilist was, so I looked it up, and it means people who don't give a stuff about anything. So I'm immune to it all, and I enjoy the people I work with, because remember this, your life is divided into 3 parts. You spend a third of your life in bed, a third of your life working, and a third of your life in leisure time. And if you don't like the person you get into bed with or the people you work with, it's a hell of a long life. So
very good point.
It is a good point, isn't it?
Sam, what's it like having Eddie back?
Well, it is, first of all, it's fantastic having Eddie back. So let's just say that. But having said that, it would mean that it was a relief to have him back, because I didn't get on well with James Brayshaw or Gary Lyon or Rebecca Madden or Craig Hutchison, and nothing could be further from the truth. They are all great people and great stars, and I have great admiration and respect for all of them. But things change, and the world rotates, and things evolve, and for various reasons people have come and gone, and we are now back with Eddie, who started it off 24 years ago. And I don't know if you've ever met Eddie, or people watching have ever met him, but he's a tremendous Australian success story, and I'm a friend of his, so I'm happy to say that for a start. But he is a fantastic Melburnian, and like him or not, he is as good an operator for this country and this city as you would find anywhere.
Sam, I know you've got a hot dinner date. One last question.
Yeah.
What's something viewers don't know about you?
Well, I don't know. I'm just telling you, I'm a very introverted person by nature. I'm basically pretty shy. My public persona is not really what I am. I'm not contrived or false, but away from the television or away from the media, I'm a bit of a recluse. I don't go out. I like my own company. I have about 3 real friends. I have a woman I live with called Amanda, and I get on very well with her. So I don't know if that's pretty boring, but people would think I'm a buffoon. Well, I'm happy to be known as a
you
buffoon,
always
or
say
a
that, Sam,
troglodyte,
but
or a
guess what?
Luddite, or a dinosaur, all those things.
You always say that, but guess what? They all love you.
I tell you what,
they
the
all love
beauty
you.
of what I'm not involved in, mate, I don't have, I'm not in the social media. I couldn't care less about it. It is a pernicious, dangerous thing. I don't care what people say about me. I don't care what they think of me, because I'll never find out, because I never read it or watch it.
You are a very special... Sam, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All the best, and thank you very much, Sam Newman. He's a great man. We'll be back very shortly with Rosie Faraci. Welcome back to the platform. We've got the very beautiful and talented Rosie Faraci on the couch. What's been happening, Rosie?
Well, there's actually lots. It's a busy time of year, and as you know, we had the Diesel Bar menu launch combined with the Platform TV launch. There was 820 people. Helen Reiser did an incredible job. You were there, we had the crew there, the atmosphere was insane. So that was probably my highlight of the week. But I think we're going to have a look at Together events at the St Kilda Festival, which I covered last week. And Steph Claire Smith, who's Insta famous, 1.2 million followers, also did the launch of her soda sunglasses. So let's have a look.
Hi, I'm Rosanna Faraci from Platform TV, and today we're here at Together Events at Captain Baxter with the incredible David Rico. And what brings you here today? Have you been to Captain Baxter for Together Events before?
I have. The boys have been doing a really good job every year. Today's even bigger than it ever was. Really fun day, and the weather's turned out really nice as well.
Oh my goodness, get yourself ready for an amazing, amazing day. For some reason Melbourne just brings out the beats for St Kilda Fest. It is the best for St Kilda. Yeah.
It's so manic down on the street, so it's so nice coming up here and being in the sun and seeing all of St Kilda Beach.
What are some of the things we can look forward to seeing you in?
Well, I'm doing Channel 10 News, back on the road reporting, which I'm loving. Doing a bit of Studio 10 and the project as well, so yeah, we'll see what happens.
You're busy.
Very, very busy always, but good, it's good.
No, up here is just fantastic with the views over the water, like great people. Fantastic being up here instead of down amongst St Kilda Festival on the foreshore.
You've always been promoting everyone else's brands. What made you want to bring out your own brand?
Oh, I think sunglasses for us is one of our favourite accessories.
It's a passion for us to be creative and make something, so we made our own stuff and we love it, so hopefully everyone else enjoys it.
It was just we're on a journey right now. We're hoping it goes well, but you never know.
Now, what campaigns do we have to look forward to seeing?
I'm just doing a lot of e-com, starting for winter at the minute, but I'm doing a campaign for 11 Australia again soon, so I'm really looking forward to that.
And have you been to Together events before?
Yeah, I've been to a few of their events. They're awesome. They're always one to look forward to, must go to. Yeah, they're really good.
Well, great to see you, and thanks for the chat as always.
So much. Thank you.
What we've created here at the St Kilda venues is basically the most exclusive party for the thousands of people who come down to the St Kilda foreshore.
We're really excited actually about the next instalment that we're going to do from Together Events. We're doing down on the Elwood Beach between March 8th and 18th. We're doing for the first time ever. It's a pop-up Europe-style day beach club. So looking forward to that just down on the foreshore of Elwood.
You always have the 6-star crowd, 6-star DJs. Congratulations and thank you for today, boys.
Thank you, Rosie. Thank you.
Rosie, thank you very much for going out there all over the place and entertaining our viewers and letting us know what's happening around Melbourne.
No, it's my pleasure. I feel blessed to be able to actually go out there now as an interviewer rather than a photographer and chat with them about what's going on in their lives and watching them progress and achieve all their dreams. I'm all for that.
Your little princess had a good time last night on the couch, last week?
Yes, she did. She hasn't stopped speaking about it, but now she's like, I want to do it every week. She got to bed at 12 and had to go to school. But definitely she's wise beyond her years, and it's these sorts of things and experiences that I think will shape the decisions she makes for the direction she wants to take. So,
and I really enjoyed your speech at the platform launch on Tuesday night, and what great musical event! When you did
with
that,
Chloe Maggs.
Yeah, that was
Chloe
amazing.
actually has. So she was on the show a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And she's releasing a single in 2 weeks, so we'll have to get her back on so she can perform it for us. And then she's heading off to LA in April, so I might join her for a couple of weeks.
Isn't that amazing? And what can we look forward to over the next few weeks from the great entertainment reporter, Rosie Faraci?
Well, tomorrow we're catching up with the Altman Brothers, $1 Million Listing from the US. They're very successful and they're doing something at the convention centre for 3 hours, a speech to give everyone tips on how to be successful in the real estate market.
Okay, so what they do, have they got a show or something, have they?
They do. They've got a reality show in the US. But then there's Schwarzenegger coming in March. We've got the Grand Prix. So Melbourne's actually the busiest it's ever been, really.
And we've got the Ride Lady to cover it. Thanks very much. Have a wonderful week. And thank you very much for watching the platform. We've got a very, very special music event coming up very shortly. Can you remember that great Aussie rock legend Powderfinger? We've got Darren Middleton coming up very shortly.
Cascade and driving
of your mind. I'm reaching out for something solid, memory etched in time. The trigger of resistance to my gentle harmony. I'll let you be, so you see that you're already gone to places I can't follow in the heart of your storm. The lovers wait in sorrow for the day you return. You return. If I ever find an answer to the question of our lives, I'll be sure to tell you, even if you run and hide. 'Cause everything is nothing if I don't reach out and try. I'll let you be, so I'll see that you're already gone to places I won't follow in the heart of the storm. I'm a lover who waits in sorrow for the day you return. You return. If I never find a story that does show me who you are, I'll take it from the minds and hearts of someone else afar. And if I tell you that I love you, then I love you all the time. Then you'll see, come with me. But you're already gone to places I won't follow in the heart of your storm. Oh, I'm a lover who waits in sorrow for the day you return. For the day you return. But you're already gone. No, you're already gone.
Oh, Darren, amazing, amazing. I'm a big fan. Thank you very much, bro, for coming on.
A pleasure.
Darren, time flies. 1989 is when the journey started.
Oh, yeah. It seems like so long ago.
And you're still so young.
Look, I don't feel that young inside, but that's very sweet of you to say that.
1989 to 2010, a 21-year journey and global success for Powderfinger. Lots of fans. What were the highlights and what were the lows of touring?
Well, I mean, look, obviously it was like a 20-year journey for us, so it had a lot of all of that. You know, it was a lot of hard work, and for us, you know, with our era of bands and music, you know, it's a different landscape these days for the way people obtain music. But for us, it was a very slow climb. So the early days, it's a lot of hard work. It's almost walking away a few times. There's a point on that journey where we went, do we want to make this let's seriously do this. Let's leave our jobs. Let's focus on the band, keep working. Any money we earned went straight back into the band, as in we would use it to buy gear or update our van at the time, which was called the Econodog. It was an Econo van, and we pretty much wrote that thing off by the end of its life.
Darren, were you all close mates?
Well, yeah, a couple of the guys went to school together, so they met through school. I didn't go to school with those guys. I was playing in another band that at the time was supporting Powderfinger when Powderfinger were kind of a half covers band, you know, playing other people's songs and a few originals. And I was always a bit of a show off when I was, you know, on stage. I just I'd be standing on tables, I'd be off the stage half the time, and I think that scared them enough to think that there could be something to this. So I joined the band at that point. And we continued playing covers and started writing songs, and then at about that point in our journey, we decided to really focus on our songwriting.
Isn't that amazing? And I've seen clips of you being on some of the most biggest stages with so many people. But let's have a look at that spectacular journey of musical genius.
The system is collapsing, conscience is relapsing. The damage has been done on the day.
Darren, they're absolutely beautiful and heartfelt songs, and you can even see the people in the crowd crying.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I mean, that last bit of footage we saw was literally the last sort of 30 seconds of our time together as a band on stage. So, yeah, there was a lot of tears that night and a lot of, you know, it takes a while to reflect, actually. I was going to say there was a lot of reflection that night, but there wasn't. It took about 3 years for that kind of process to sink in.
I personally think Powderfinger was one of the best bands on the planet. The words were so carefully chosen, and you know, everybody can relate to a time in their lives when we heard your songs. What were your say 3 favourites?
Oh, well, I mean, possibly that song These Days is a beautiful song. We wrote that for the movie Two Hands. It had Heath Ledger in it at the time. So that was a song specifically written for a movie, and it's a beautiful song. For me, though, I think we had another slightly less known song called Thrilloylogy. No one's going to know this song, but it's like a 7-minute jam, and for a band on stage, that's the joy, because you play the hits, and the hits are great, and that kind of feeling you get from the crowd is amazing, but then you get to sort of sink yourself into these really long journey songs. And I suppose from that kind of level, I'd pick that. And the third song, I don't know, Love Your Way. We saw a clip of Bernard and myself fighting each other and with swords. And
Darren,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's always a tough slog, like you said. Can you recall the point when you said, hey, this is great, this is working, we've got liftoff? Who was that person or that manager or the event that you guys thought, hey, we're going to make it big?
I don't think we ever thought we were going to make it big, or that the next album was going to keep us where we were. We just, our vision was pretty much here, not all the way down the track. We just wanted we'd get to the end of the tour and we'd go, right, how do we make the next tour better? A little bit different for people and better. Next album, how do we make this better? How do we push ourselves to make it better? So it's just, you know, I saw Anthony before, Mundine, talking and talks about hard work, and it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of self-belief, and it's also about kind of being ready. Because, you know, in life, I think in general, but particularly with music, it's about opportunity, being given that kind of small, brief opportunity, and you've got to be ready for it. So you've got to have your skills up, your whatever it is you do, you know, so, yeah.
You're still kicking goals, an amazing solo career. Let's have a look at what you've been doing in recent times.
And all my searching revealed nothing of who I am, and I need it now. Yes, I need it now, but I can't let go. I can't let go. I can't let go. I can't let go. Desire will return your fire. Just let it burn.
What a beautiful voice and what a talented man.
It's very kind of you to say.
Darren, 2 albums, and we've got another one coming out called Tides. When can we look forward to hearing that?
We're kind of hoping that'll be out in the next 2 or 3 months. It's currently, as we sit here, the mix is being finalised, so it's a bit different to the last 2 records, and you know, I do it because I love it, so. You know,
what a fantastic journey you've had, and what are the plans for the great man over the next 12 months?
I spend a lot of time scoring for film and TV now. I've got a film scoring company with another guy called S1E6. So we had a really busy year last year, and we've got a couple of feature films and TV shows to kind of do this year. And,
amazing. But look, the Australian public have waited for a long time. It's almost been 8 years. Can't you guys just get back together just for one final show?
I mean, since you put it that way, Mark, I'd be crazy not to, right? I should give the guys a call.
Give them a call.
Look, we walked away from it, and
we want you back for at least one special performance. You guys are too young to retire. Darren, it's been a great pleasure. I am a big fan, and God bless you, my friend. And viewers, thank you very much for watching. Love and best wishes, and we'll be back next week. And thank you for coming to our launch last Tuesday. All the very best. I'm Michael Kazilny.